All right, today we're talking about lining a poem, and Jack in Love That Dog is starting to notice the shape of a poem can influence its meaning. So, lining a poem refers to when you stop writing on one line and go on to the next. When you're writing paragraphs, you start writing on a new line when you run out of room on your paper. But lining a poem is a little bit different. You can see here on this line, I stopped because I ran out of room, and so I had to start over here. And we use sentences and periods to show where we're breaking ideas. But in a poem, we stop a line and we start over. And these lines give your readers a break to help them digest your ideas. Poetry is quite dense. There are a lot of ideas that are compacted together into a short piece of writing. So you really need to give your reader time to think about the things that you're saying. So keep one idea to a line, and you can break it if it starts to get a little bit too long. And the good news is there is no grammatical rule for this. You break it where you think you need to break it. But again, we don't want them to get too long. Sometimes poets will give a one word or short phrase a standalone line to draw attention to it and emphasize an idea, just like we use short, choppy sentences at the beginning of the school year. Breaking your poem into stanzas or chunks helps your reader see how the ideas in it are connected, similar to paragraphs in writing. And you can see here that we have a stanza. A stanza is just a chunk of writing, and each one of these are lines in that stanza. So we have a stanza up here, we have another stanza, we have another stanza, one right here, very short one, and then a short one down here too. So let's read this together. And I want you to think about too as we read. Do we have some similes? Do we have metaphors? Or do we have some personification? So this is called A Lonely Planet Ponders by John P. Curtin. I'm unleashed but feel pulled. I'm in orbit. Gravity, my greatest attraction, has never let me down. I'm one of several, maybe many. I'm not sure. I seldom see the rest. I know, though, that there are more like me. A network, a galaxy, a universe at work, as I spin solitary. As I wend my way through space, there's design, there's order, there's a pattern, there are causes and there are effects, and there are reasons that such should happen this way, and this should happen in such a way. Even unpredictability is governed by principle. Take comfort. Chance, too, toes a line. And you may have noticed this lining choice in here, where we have these indents, and that's done very purposefully to show a progression of ideas that are connected together. And we're going to read Truth and David's Old Soul next. And as we're reading, I want you to think to yourself, why do you think that the author stopped here and started a new line, and then stopped here and started a new line? How did they know when to start and when to stop or to break it? Do you notice anything else too about the way it's written? So this one is truth. The truth is, every day we rise is like thunder, a clap of surprise. Could be echoes of trouble or blossoms of blessing. You never know what garish or gorgeously disguised memories to be might rain down from above. So look up. Claim that cloud with a silver lining. Our job, if you ask me, is to follow it, see where it heads. And we see a very similar type of poem here. It's by the same author. And again, think about, why does it stop here and then start? And why did the author stop here? And do you notice anything else about the way it is lined? As far back as I can remember, my mother has called me an old soul. I never understood. But now that our family has dwindled to just mom and us kids, I've grown into a man. You do what you have to. David, dig deep, is the whisper in my ear. So I stand strong like a tree my baby brothers can lean on. I try to be the raft that helps carry them over this life's rough rivers. So in this poem, you may have noticed as we were reading that we had some personification. How about here? We have, I stand strong like a tree my baby brothers can lean on. Do you think that's a simile, metaphor, or an example of personification? And if you said a simile, you're right. Let's take a look at the next two lines. I try to be the raft that helps carry them over this life's rough rivers. So we have, I try to be the raft. Is that a simile, metaphor, or personification? And if you said a metaphor, you're right. We have another metaphor here with life's rough rivers. They're not talking about actual rivers, but metaphorical ones. And the last poem we're looking at today is the 400-meter freestyle. And you may have seen in the Olympics a race in a pool called the 400-meter freestyle. So as we read this poem, I want you to think about how the form contributes to the meaning. And again, think about what you've seen maybe in an Olympic race as somebody is swimming. We have this first line, and then we have 3 curved letters leading into the next line, 3 curved letters going into the next, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and read together. The gun full swing, the swimmer catapults and cracks feet away into that perfect glass he catches at, and throws behind him scoop after scoop, cunningly moving the water back to move him forward. Thrift is his wonderful secret. He has schooled out all extravagances. No muscle ripples without compensation. Wrist cocked to heel snap to his mobile mouth that siphons in the air that nurtures him, at half an inch above sea level, so to speak. The astonishing whites of the soles of his feet rise and salute us on the turns. He flips, converts, and is gone all in one. We watch him for signs. His arms are steady at the catch. His cadent feet tick in the stretch. They know the lesson well. Lungs too. Lungs know too. He does not list for air. He dives along on little sips, carefully expended, but that plum-red heart pumps hard, cries hurt, how soon? It's near one more makes its final surge time, 4 minutes, 25 and 9/10 seconds. So again, in your writing today, you're going to be talking about why do you think the authors made these aligning choices and how does it contribute to its meaning?